The problem is now the students know too much because of the access to information.
Yeah.
Right. They know too much.
Yeah.
And hence, I'm not really here to teach. I'm here to question and make you question so that you know for sure that your foundations are strong.
Yes, yes.
What my role as a teacher is to get that curiosity, get that excitement.
Yeah. A human brain is believed to have two parts, left and right. Left is more for logical and right is more for creative sides. And it is supposed that if a human being kind of balances both the sides of the brain, he can reach to his highest potential. Today, I am sitting in TinkerShed of Sahyadri school where a child explores both sides of his brain. So welcome Vinayak Sharma. Vinayak actually is a teacher. Vinayak is an engineer and he hails from Bangalore. And he has been always fascinated with the magic science can create in the minds of students and has been involved in doing hands-on activities with students. So Vinayak, first question to you will be, what has been your driving force behind whatever you are doing today with regards to science and tinkering?
I believe that science and other related fields and also supposedly unrelated fields are all connected by curiosity to learn something, and TinkerShed and places like these offer us a chance to sort of mix all these things and look at the thing from a holistic point of view rather than looking at them from, say, a narrow point of view. Say, the chemistry behind it. What is the language? What is the history behind this thing? So I think TinkerShed gives us that kind of that ability to look at things, and I myself have been sort of struck by that realization, and that has been the basic thrust of my belief that TinkerShed and hands-on things can
Yeah.
be a gateway
Yeah.
to such
Yeah.
activities.
Yeah.
That's
So, to those of us who do not know what does tinkering mean, would you like to elaborate on this? What does tinkering mean?
so. Of course, there is no proper definition to it, but the way I see it, and which is agreed by most people, is that tinkering is where you don't have an agenda. You don't really think about I'm going to make this or that. You come to a place, you see that there are these things lying down, and with your basic skills of using the tools, you make something that it's like abstract art. You just do it with the flow that is going in your body, and just you start making things. There is no proper agenda or there is no proper plan to such things. So it's just messing around with things
Yeah.
and coming up with something that only I think you will understand.
Yeah, that brings me to, a thought, a memory actually, that when I used to see small kids playing in my house, that, remote, they're kind of, opening it up and breaking it up into parts and then creating something else out of it. So probably this is a bigger version of it,
Yes.
where children kind of, mix and make and break certain things, and there is nothing right or wrong because everything which they create is
Their own.
is unique.
Yes.
Is unique.
Yeah.
No, very nice, very nice. So at the moment in Sahyadri school, particularly in the TinkerShed, what all activities are going on?
From the previous years, there was so first initially when the TinkerShed started, there were a lot of activities on origami. So you will be finding a lot of origami models here in the TinkerShed, and again the person who was anchoring that was someone who was specializing in origami, and hence the main force behind the activities is always the anchor. So you would see a lot of origami models. And then after that, the next person who came was more into toys from trash,
Okay.
the Arvind Gupta model.
Okay.
and you will see a lot of these models from plastic bottles, caps, skewers. And then when I got the opportunity to anchor the program, I saw that there was a lot of wood waste from the school that came out, and other things that are quite rigid. And me, with my engineering background, I was more or less aware of using those tools. So I thought, why not try this out to the students so that they can make models that are much sturdier, and also learn on the process of making things, learn how to use these tools. So that was the idea. So now currently, as we're doing, we are working more on um, wooden and models which are quite sturdy, and something on electronics, because that is also something that I have studied and I'm very much fascinated about, electrical and electronics. So those are the two key areas of work that we're doing currently.
Yeah. So as you mentioned that it all depends upon the anchor,
Yes.
and I believe that facilitators from outside also come and go and
Yes.
do some kind of workshops.
Yeah.
So is there anything of that sort which is happening right now?
Yes. So, with one of the parents stepping in, we have established sort of a democratic system where the TinkerShed has this fake currency, hilariously named Tinklings by one of the students. So, the fake currency is distributed to the students, and the amount is decided by the students. Using that currency, they sort of buy things from the TinkerShed. So they have to say give 5 tinklings to get, let's say, 3 balloons. Um, and the rates are decided by the students. The material inventories kept by the students, and the idea also is anchored by some students.
Wow.
So there's an idea team, there's a materials team. So this idea was given by one of the parents who himself handles a lot of he calls them T labs, Tinker labs.
Yeah.
So he came for a week and he observed the class. So with the class 6 we are now experimenting. It's a fully democratic system. And another workshop that we had was from again one of the parents, and that workshop was on this French technique called decoupage,
Okay.
where we take paper or tissue and then take this surface and put it on different things, jute, wood, everything. So the things that you see in the background are some of the work, and so that's something that we did for a week again. We've been able to come up with some of the things that we can put around the campus.
Yeah.
So it was very nice to see the things that are very regular can be converted into such aesthetically beautiful things by just sort of working some techniques that are using very basic things like tissue paper and things.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one
Yeah.
more aspect
Yeah.
of it.
And I suppose that, I mean, all of these things, what you do, are also good for the environment in general. Because most of the things which we think, oh, this is trash.
Yeah.
So those things, using those things and recycling and reusing them for something
Yeah.
which can be reused, maybe is of great importance, I feel. What do you say?
So that was the whole point of this decoupage workshop that we had. Of course, apart from decoupage, we learned stenciling, other things also. But the whole idea was, and very much aligned with what I think science is for me, is making ordinary things extraordinary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and during the journey here in the TinkerShed, I realized how great bamboo is.
Yeah.
We were able to make so many things with bamboo.
Yeah.
So, yes, trash is something that we, of course, overlook and not think about it. But there is so much potential to do things with that.
Yeah. So this line struck me that science for you is making ordinary things extraordinary. I think I read a quote some time back which said that you don't have to live an extraordinary life, but you have to make your life kind of so ordinary that it becomes extraordinary.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think doing little things in our day-to-day life makes our destiny and makes those things. So, coming back to TinkerShed again, so what is the vision for the future? Like, how do you see this journey going further with the students and your personal journey?
Um, I would first tell the personal journey because it's very short and because it's ongoing. The personal journey is that with TinkerShed, being a TinkerShed anchor, I'm able to grow in a very rapid manner. Where I told you about bamboo. As an engineer, we had studied some aspects of it, but when I came here and started using it and started tinkering with it, I realized how good it was, and I sort of got so many realizations from bamboo that I had not gotten before. So that's one thing that I'm really. Similarly, there are a million of examples, but this is the key thing. It is a learning journey for me as well. Coming to the vision of such a thing, I could think of it in two aspects. One, I really think, and this includes me also, that the vocational skills, the skills that you use to sort of cut material, sort of skills that involve motor skills, fine motor skills,
Kinesthetic skills.
yes, that I think is something that has to be really pushed, because that's something that the students lack, and uh, um, the students really lack, and this applies to my generation also. I think as an engineer, I lack a lot of I lacked a lot of skills back then, and I still need to work on some, which I'm doing right now. That's one thing. The other part is the creativity, because we are so much used to this rote method that we already think that okay, if doesn't align to my syllabus, it must be dumb.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of this filtering in children's ideas, which makes us very much conformist,
Yeah.
which ruins the whole idea of being a human being.
Yes.
We are sort of, our ideas are becoming similar.
Yeah.
So those two things I see as the vision.
Yeah.
Uh, One is the skills, vocational skills. The other one is the creativity. That I think is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vision.
and this actually reminds me of my engineering days also. That I mean, BTech तो कर लिया, लेकिन कुछ आया नहीं. So that's how we did, and at the end of it, we just made projects, and without actually knowing what we are doing. And a real engineer is somebody who is all the time curious about really tinkering with things, and that knowledge is, I don't know how many colleges kind of take it forward like that. And so you are very right in saying that the vocational learning and the kinesthetic skills develop here in such an environment, and so the children are really lucky to be in such a place then. Yeah, so so I think that it's a blend of curiosity, creativity, innovation, everything, and that will definitely develop a child's mind and prepare him to be really skillful in the 21st century, as they call us, the 21st century skills. And probably they'll be able to grow more as aware individuals, and what they like doing, what they kind of don't enjoy doing, and ultimately that will kind of benefit in their long journey of life. So thank you so much, Vinayak, for talking to me on this aspect, which is so less talked about. And I hope this video reaches to teachers, parents, parents who are not sending their kids to schools, are unschooling, deschooling, or homeschooling them, because schools these days are kind of not looked in a very good manner, because it's believed that they kill creativity of the child. And it's good to be in such a place where creativity is still fostered in a child and it is promoted. So yeah, and I think all the KFI schools have such spaces where a child can learn and relearn and unlearn certain kind of
I
things.
can just mention one
Yes.
thing. See, again, as an engineer, I see that there is a lot of, the moment something comes up, people sort of capitalize and commercialize things. So the moment the need for good engineers came, the STEM industry sort of blossomed. But that's not the point. See, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and maths. Just by pushing a very narrow branch of subjects, if you think a child is becoming so-called holistic, then you're really wrong. One addition to STEM would be STEAM, where they have science, technology, arts,
Yeah.
and engineering and maths. Yeah,
Right.
so arts and engineering interchanged. So that's one thing. And one thing that I saw as a teacher from last 2 years is the language skills. The problem is maths is not being communicated properly to the students because they don't understand the language. If I am not able to articulate my thoughts to you because there is a language barrier, then I am not able to teach you anything.
Yes.
So I think that's one thing that is really underestimated, and it's a very narrow way of looking at things when you say, you know what, languages are all fine, you focus on your maths and science. Being an engineer, I can definitely validate that it is not true.
Yeah.
If I am able to understand things, I am sure that I will be doing much better things.
Yeah.
So that's one addition that I wanted to make, that how important language is.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the math teacher came to me the other day, and she said, Vinayak, you know what? I think the children are not able to understand what I say. They are getting the technique right, mathematics, but they're not understanding what I'm trying to say. And this is clearly because of the language barrier. And it has nothing to do with what background they come from.
Yeah.
Language is for everyone.
Yeah.
Either people understand it or don't understand it. So I think that's one observation that I made in my...
Yeah. That's important, and that actually reminds me of something which has nothing to do with language, and I think you do it in your science experiments, and which is mime. So, would you like to talk about how do you incorporate mime into demonstrating science experiments?
So, one more thing that science sort of gets highlighted is that it doesn't need a language. Irrespective of where I am in the world, the science will not change. An acid-base reaction will give me, say, a gas, carbon dioxide, which is the same everywhere. And hence, to communicate that through actions is one experiment that I tried last year, and I see that it was really very nice. And I had fun while doing it because it was a mixture of the things that I said, arts and mixing science together, where you don't always have to be preachy and tell you know what, this is how it works. In fact, the problem is now the students know too much because of the access to information. Right. They know too much. And hence, I'm not really here to teach. I'm here to question and make you question so that you know for sure that your foundations are strong. I think that's the goal of such things.
And I think that also develops a kind of wonder when you are not preaching something that this by mixing this and this and
Correct.
this will
Yes.
form, and like wow, aha. So those kind of moments is I think what makes a teacher a good teacher.
Yes.
When the child is like the eyes are like, oh my god, what is this happening?
Yeah.
And then the child starts questioning that, oh, now let me see the chemistry, physics or bio behind it.
Because I'm sure they will be able to
Yes.
access it anywhere.
Yes.
What my role as a teacher is to get that curiosity, get that excitement.
Yeah.
So that's my aim as a teacher here, not to give any piece of information.
Yeah. So do you think you have been able to achieve that, or you are in the process?
The process is endless, so I am definitely in the process. I saw a lot of students yesterday because it was Teachers' Day.
Yeah.
They gave me these cards, Teacher Day cards. More than half of them had some of the scientists' name that we were learning about, because I was able to humanize the scientist and actually talk about their character, their psychology, not just a robot who just invented something in a flash of a moment and then gave me this formula. It took sacrifices, it took journey, and to see that the children have caught that, so and bring it back. That's I think is a very a step forward in seeing that they're able to do all this.
Yeah. So I think the subjects in which kind of our education system has classified different things into subjects like psychology, and this is chemistry, and this is physics, and this is math. So I think it has ruined the core thing.
Yes.
And to be able to bring back all of those things into whatever you are teaching will make something holistic. So do you agree to it?
Yes. In fact, we've been able to work out something similar, of course, in a very narrow scale. This term we took bubbles as our theme, and through bubbles we were able to explore the chemistry of bubbles, the soap making process. We were able to explore the science, the physics behind it, the surface tension. And also it just happens that because of very nice peer learning, I was able to ask my the co-class teacher, English teacher, to sort of help me with the bubble poems,
Oh,
if she could make them
nice.
right.
Yeah.
So we did a performance with bubbles, and on the same day we had put up the children's bubbles poetry on the notice board. And every parent who saw that told me that we were not able to decide which is good or which is bad,
Yeah.
because it is not about good or bad.
Yeah.
Here I have put my creativity and my imagination.
Yeah.
It is just what it is. It is
Yeah.
not good or not bad. I
Yeah.
don't have to really.
Yeah.
So that's something that I was
Yeah.
really nice to see. And I look forward to sharing more of these things beforehand, so that we can, come up with this kind of approach where the child is able to see the same thing through different lens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think perspective is what you are trying to say, and
Yes.
all perspectives are kind of have to be given the right place. There is nothing called this is a wrong perspective or this is a right perspective,
perspective.
but it's a perspective, and to be able to see that perspective in the right place is what we have to do. And definitely to move towards theme-based education is something we should all look for, because that is the need of the hour, and not exactly bracketing things into different subjects.
Subjects, yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for interacting, and I hope that this message reaches many, and one is able to really understand for himself, herself, or their children of how they would want to educate their left and right brains. Thank you so much for listening and watching.